Good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? Went to the coin store. Not surprised he didn't get in his silver. It's ordered. But he did have something neat that I want to show you. You'll love these, Bobby. This is a 5-ounce bar. And it's sealed in here. So if we take it out, somehow I can take it out. It's just a plastic case. Anyway. So then I got the regular ounces, 35 an ounce. I got 15 of those. And then this 5. This was cheaper. This was the 27 a price. This was 35. So I got 15 of those instead of 20. And then I got 5. But I didn't want too many of these. So I just got 5 of these. And then for you, Bobby, I got the Piesta Resistance. A mercury dime head, 1 ounce silver that I found in the case. Oh, 1 ounce fine silver. I guess this was a limited edition done in 2018. I said, what the hell is that? So he's got another cases, which are a little more collectible. And they're more $35 a piece. So when I saw the Liberty hat, it struck me as, this is probably and then he explained it and $35. I said, yeah, I'll buy it. I can't get this thing open. I'll work on it. Here we go. So this is what this looks like. It looks a lot like the 10 ouncer. So it says 5 troy ounces fine silver on the bottom. He said he found it in the back room somewhere. So he's pulling this. He's like digging to the bottom to like, okay, all the silver sold out. Now he had one more 20 ounce of the Liberty, right, at 35. This was 700. That's why I didn't buy all 20. I bought 15. And 5 was 20. I could have bought 4 of these really and got my 20 ounces cheaper. Maybe I should have done that. But I don't know how many of these I want, how many 5 ounces I want. Because if it goes to 2,000 ounce, that's 10,000. Then you're kind of not fucked, but it definitely makes a difference. So for you, Bobby, there's this one, the 5 ouncer. There's the mercury dime one. And then the Liberty head. So this is my idea of shopping. Now, in my mind, it doesn't matter. Just a second, I got to check my teeth. It's funny how sometimes it takes so long to boil tea. Like you're like, is the stove on? So Anyway, so that in my mind, I'm just trading dollars for silver. Now, they still had about 4 ounces of the Eagle of this at 2,100 an ounce, and 2 Krugerrand at 20.75 an ounce, and then a few Credit Suisse ounces, the bars. So, you know, I just drank the wrong thing. All right, 1 second. The tea's ready. Okay, sorry, pardon me, excuse me, excuse me. Okay. So, in my mind, I'm just trading worthless dollars for silver price 10 times less than it should be. Now, about COMEX. So, listening to our buddy, Alistair McLeod, he says, so Alistair McLeod explains how, and I think the other guy, Andrew McGuire, explains how COMEX is done. Let's go to that.
After this video, your life is never going to be the same. So I need you to stop whatever you're doing.
This is the last cartel tool left in the toolbox.
They now have to keep printing or we crash.
We've got this ticking time bomb.
Decoupling this tool has actually begun something we've had multiple examples of since we drew attention to it in our last episode. Currently intermittent, but not going unnoticed by central bank buyers.
Andrew, thanks a lot for looking at the big picture there, medium and long term. But you know what? This week we have had a ton.
So what he's saying is it's broken. I apologize. I didn't get the full statement. What he's saying is there's a mechanism, there's an algorithm that says when the dollar goes up, gold price goes down. That's why you see the gold price drop. Really for no reason, right? You're going, why is gold going down? There's massive inflation. Because the way it's fixed on derivatives by COMEX, as soon as the price of the dollar goes up, the price of gold goes down. It's not related. And the dollar price is based on the other currencies, not based on how strong the dollar is. So it's the dollar versus the euro and the yen. That doesn't mean the dollar's strong, the gold goes down. So that's why you see gold going down. because the dollar gets better because everybody's running into the dollar. Everybody's running into the dollar to get, they're running into the dollar for safe haven. So if you're in Japan, you're getting out of the yen into the dollar. If you're in Europe, you're running out of the euro to get into the dollar. So they perceive the dollar to be stronger, which it's not. And therefore, you end up, thinking you're the dollar's safe haven, and it's not. The only safe haven is this guy. This is your safe haven. Now, the guy at the store said that the premiums are going up to $8 from $4 or $5. But I think he was just talking these 5-ounce silvers, and I guarantee you, at the $27 they were at, I suppose, so it was 27 and 35, and so I want the 27s. But he didn't have the buffaloes to buy; they never came in, which I'm not surprised. He said they got some on order. We'll see. So I got this, but I wanted to get in before the window closed. So I didn't, I'm figuring it's only $8 difference, and I'm only buying 15 of them. So I don't know, for the $100, I'd rather have them than not have them, and then the shit hits the fan next week. I don't know if the shit's hitting the fan next week, but that's where it's at. So anyway, with the mechanism of these algorithms, what you have is gold dropping, paper gold dropping because dollar goes up. But it's not real. Again, it's derivatives. Again, it's an algorithm. So it's not even real supply demand. Real supply demand is me going into the store and paying $137 for 5-ounce silver. That's real demand. I went in and I bought it. Not an algorithm that says, well, the dollar went up in value versus the yen and the euro, so we're going to drop gold because the dollar went up in value means gold's down in value. Really? So the whole system's skewed. One has nothing to do with the other. Perhaps if it was the dollar strengthening against inflation, not against other currencies, I could understand that. So I'm really like, the whole thing's stupid. Anyway, it's the last mechanism's broken. So we're going to see gold and silver go through the roof. And now that gold's attached to silver, silver is attached to gold. As gold goes, silver goes. So yes, Bobby, your silver's going up. This one I bought just for you, Bobby. I knew you'd like it. It's very rare. You can see it's like the Mercury dime, if you get a picture of that. And I just bought one for $35. It was just fun. Plus, I couldn't really buy an ounce. They had these Trump ones, or Let's Go Brandons, and those were selling for $30. And I'm not a big Trump guy. I'm a big Austrian guy. I'm a big freedom guy, but I'm not a big Trump guy because I'm not sure he's for freedom. Maybe, but I don't think so. But I don't get into politics. I get into economics. Pardon me. So, with that said, let's say I'm trying to sell the ounce of silver, and there's people that don't like Trump, which there apparently is a lot of them. They're not going to buy it. They don't want a Trump piece. They're all going to want this, and they're all going to want this because these are basically just silver. They're neutral. So this is the regular, $1. So I didn't mind buying a little more liberties. So That's where it's at. Let's see the size. Yeah, see, these are basically, this Liberty head is a little bit, the Mercury dime head is a little bit smaller than this, which makes sense. This is bigger than all the bullion. Not sure why, but it is. So keep that in mind. Also, you want to keep these in pretty good condition. He made a comment to me about some guy had all greasy hands and was getting the coins dirty. And he said if he would have dropped it on the floor, he would have had to buy it. So be very careful. These are really pristine. I don't really handle them much. They're going back in the plastic after class. So keep that in mind. You want to be careful how you touch it. And don't touch it too much, or wear gloves or something. But anyway, so you want to be careful with it. And, and I am. I don't. That's why I saw some that weren't as polished, and I didn't get them another time. Yeah, this is 1 ounce fine silver. So this is fine. And I keep asking him, so if the spot goes to 100, you're going to give me 100 for all of it? And he says, yeah. That's why it's hard to buy the $35 ones. Because if it goes to 100, you have paid 35, you get 100, and you would have paid 35 and got 100. And then your bullion, you'd have paid 27 and got 100. So that's why you don't want to spend more on it. You're going to get spot anyway. I think he said he would pay a few more dollars for this than the other. We'll see. Hopefully we go in a month or two and we test this out because silver went up to 1,000. But between inflation and the bank runs and a bunch of idiots running the government, this is collapsing very fast. So keep in mind, China doesn't like Russia either. They're all doing what's best for them. China with the 25,000 tons of their people's gold. Very enlightening for them to go to gold. It really is, because they have it. It's very important that the gold price goes up for Russia, China, and India, Iran, Saudi Arabia, South America. But in the U.S., these idiots don't have any gold because they're Keynesians. It blows your mind. Anyway, that was my morning. Some more silver. And I really like this 5 ounce silver. I mean, I have a 10 ouncer, which I think I've shown you. It's a bigger bar. And it says 5 ounce. So as long as it says it, it is. And it comes in the nice. I like the orange container. I go, what's that? He says that's a 5 ounce bar. So he had about 10 of them. So I was like, cool. I don't mind buying it. And the price was the $27.50. So I was like, I don't want too many of them, but I don't mind more of them. Makes it easier to travel with. If you have 5 of these, you just stick them in your pocket. It's people don't know they're gold or silver, and you can sell them for 5 ounces without carrying, 5 of these. So, we will see. But anyway, so that was morning. So I didn't think he'd have bullion, but thank God he had these, the 5 ouncers. So he says he should be getting them in, but now I'm like, oh, okay, are they going to be 27? Because again, it's part of the 23s, right? So did he really get them in, didn't want to put them out, or did he not get them in? Put it this way. If he knows that the spot price is going up to 30, why would he want to sell them now to me for 27? You would think he'd want to hold them, and then boom, they go up to 30 next week, and now he can sell them for 35. That's what I would do if I had them. Plus, he's really drying up. he had a whole showcase where these were before, and now it's shrinking. There's a lot less. He still had 4 gold ounces. And he had 4 gold ounces and he had 2 Cougarons, but they were all ounces. The Cougarons were 20.75 and the Liberties were 21 and a quarter. And I said, this is the problem. Nobody, you're going to have a hard time selling the 2100s because these chuckleheads don't get it. They think, the price is going up. And therefore, I don't want to buy high, right? I want to buy it at 21 if it goes back to 19. And it will go back to 19. Well, it's at 1975. But as Andrew said in his video, that the bottoms keep getting hot. So you won't see 1600 again or 1700. Those are blown away. Then it was 18 and a quarter, blown away. Now it's 19 something, like low 1900s. So you'll see it dip back to 1900 and then it'll go up and up and up until we break COMEX. And then it goes and we add a 0 to it. And that's all coming. The silver's a joke at $23 an ounce. Like, really? Are you kidding me? So so with that said, we're about to see everything go to the roof. So that's why I bought so quickly. He had none left. So this is 35 and this is 35. So had I bought a Trump, it would have been 30 an ounce anyway. So for the $5, I'd rather have something I know is going to be around than something I'm worried. He pulled these out of his ass. He said, we found this in the back, these 5 ounces. So I'm like, okay. Anything different, I'm a little too leery about, but it does say 5 troy ounces, 999 fine silver. So I could easily sell it, and it's 5 ounces, and I don't think I'm going to have a hard time with that. But I do like the box. I like the orange. It was like, okay, it's worth buying it for the orange. So it comes in, so I'll put it back in the box just to keep. And I don't need this. But again, this was 35 for this Mercury dime thing, which is 1 ounce of silver. So, it's just a collectible that I got. So how many more, the bank failures are 2 things in our favor. One, the Fed has to print money to bail out. That's inflation. That hurts the value of the dollar. It makes the dollar worth less because you're printing more. The more you print, the less they're worth. Or are they going to get the money for the bailouts? And do you trust the FDIC is actually going to bail you out? Okay, so it's 250,000. So if you got 500,000 in an account, what's going to happen to the other 250? So you're going to have to find a way to get that out. And the only way you're going to get that out is by going to the bank and pulling 15 to 20,000 out. You're not going to go to the bank and pull out $250,000. They don't have that. And they're not going to give it. If they do have it, they're not going to give it all to you. They're going to give you 50 and give somebody else 50 and off we go. So you're going to have to go to the bank once a week and pull 20 grand out for 10 weeks and hope that you can get it out. So just be leery. Stocks, I'm telling you, all the shit I see, I wouldn't be in the stocks long term. You can't trust them. You can't trust the guys running them. I mean, they're all Madoffs. They're all get the price and then sell it. They fix the financials. They're all crooked. There's only one person you can trust in life, and that's yourself. You can be in, I showed you Amazon yesterday, 127 is now 97. And the guy in line at Myers is still saying, oh, it only goes up. It only goes up. Okay, now you're down 30 points. God knows how many shares you own, but you're a doctor, so you're real smart, but you're not smart enough to stay out of the market. So I don't think you got 300,000 in your bank account. I don't see where you put, I don't see where you put it in the stocks. So it leaves you Bitcoins, and it leaves you this. This I have. Bitcoin, what is it? It's not money, and it's certainly not gold and silver. So at the end of the day, you can put your money in the Bitcoin. Can you get it out? What if there's electric problem? Is the internet goes down? You can't get it out. I don't have that problem. Even if it goes dark, I get a flashlight. I grab my gold and silver, put it in my car, and I got it. So this is something you have that's very, very underpriced. That's about to go way, way, way overpriced. Or not overpriced. It's going to go to price. So keep that in mind. If Bobby comes on, I will show what I bought because I know he likes this unique stuff. All right. Let's go to basketball. All right, so let's go into baskets. Quite a mess we have in basketball, huh? So Alabama gets killed by San Diego State. Houston gets killed by Miami. Texas beats Xavier. We hit it over. And we lose Princeton by a half a point, which was a little frustrating, but I didn't see the game, so I don't know if we hit the late shot or they hit the late shot or what happened at the end. Normally, if you got the lead, you're really not looking to score. All right, so we got San Diego State 71-64, which is 125, which is an under. How does Alabama only score 64? But again, the defensive team beats the offensive team. 135. The over-under was 137. It stays under, but Alabama minus 7.5. They don't even win the games. Pretty pathetic. Miami-Houston, again, a game you think would go under, goes way over. Miami, 89 points on that defense. 164, and the over-under was 140, 139, and Houston doesn't win. So there goes your one seeds. Creighton beating Princeton by 11 at 140. It was 9.5, 140, and they scored. That was a 160-point game also. So Creighton lit it up. Miami lit it up. San Diego played the tough defense. Then finally we win with Texas over 148, and the game goes to 154. So we just get there, but we get there. And Texas wins by 12 points. So Texas we had, and nobody else. That was it. And this is, okay, why why do we lose in college basketball is simply, excuse me, it's simply the unknown. We don't know San Diego State. We don't really know Alabama. We don't know Creighton that well, or Princeton. Florida Atlantic, obviously nobody knows. We don't know how good Tennessee is. Kansas State, we think's good. Michigan State, we don't think is that good. So I was surprised they were favored. Houston, I don't know with that defense. Doesn't show up. Miami lights them up. So again, had we known Miami better, maybe Van Dyke was playing, then we would say, oh, they're a great dog. Xavier in Texas. Texas, we was the one team because they beat Kansas by 20. I could figure. Connecticut beats Arkansas. Okay, Gonzaga beats UCLA. We know they have the hurt guard. We don't know much about Gonzaga, but we know that they're always good there. So now we look at the final 8. Let's look at today's lines. So we got Kansas State 1.5, 143 over Florida Atlantic. Oops. Let's look at the detail. I don't even know if you can use the detail anymore. So Florida Atlantic beats a good Tennessee team with a good defense, supposedly. And if we just look at scoring, Florida Atlantic scores 78, gives up 64. Kansas State 76, gives up 69, and just beat Michigan State. It actually looks like Florida Atlantic by the numbers are better, but does that mean anything? Florida Atlantic beats a good Memphis team. They beat Farley Dickinson, and they beat Tennessee with this great defense. So I don't really know. This game's dead even, but there's no line, right? I got K-State. I'm only laying 1.5. I think K-State wins. But again, this is like a half a unit. This is like bet $10 on the game. I don't even know. I'm gonna take K-State here. Florida Atlantic scored on Tennessee. I don't know. Probably should take the over, the under. I don't know. Gonzaga, Connecticut. Connecticut's laying 2.5. $153. We know they both can score. They played a high-scoring game with UCLA, and Connecticut scored a lot. Yeah, Gonzaga 87-73, Connecticut 78. So we're going to go over with this one. Let's go over 153. To actually pick the game, you got to be nuts because Gonzaga just beat UCLA. So maybe Connecticut wins. I don't know. I don't know them well enough to pick that. Third game. There's only 2 games. I think there's 2 games today. Okay. And then let's go to tomorrow's action. We got Creighton 1.5. 133. And if we look at the matchup, I don't know. I like San Diego State. They beat freaking Alabama. San Diego State's a much better. They're an under team. 71, give up 63. Creighton 77. I'm going to take San Diego State here. They held Alabama to 60 points. Probably an under also. And let's go to the last game. Texas, again, favored by 3.5. 150. I'm going to go over. This is going to be my 5-star over. Because they could score 80 points on Houston. They ain't going to have a problem with Texas. Texas has a guy injured, too. He had a boot on. I don't know who he was, if it was a starter or a big stud or whatever. So that's my guess. Now, Miami beats Houston. They can beat, this is the point. At this point, they can beat Texas. Connecticut, Gonzaga, it's open. Anybody can win. Florida Atlantic, Kansas State. I'm going to lean on Kansas State. You know, you beat Michigan State's a good win. Florida Atlantic beat Tennessee. I don't know how good a win that is. San Diego State beats Alabama. They can certainly beat Creighton. Defense wins. So now I'm going to San Diego State's defense. Kansas State's overall. Over in Gonzaga, Connecticut, because both teams are high scoring, and we're going over Miami, Texas, because they put up 80 points on Houston. So the theory of betting the defense normally works in football. But even in football, you have to read between the lines. So in the Super Bowl, I correctly read between the lines that Philadelphia, I didn't know about over under, but then when I saw Philadelphia didn't play anybody with a good offense but Green Bay and Dallas with Prescott, and they gave up 40 points in those games, I said, well, their defense must not be that good, and then they're not going to stop Mahomes then, even though they had like a 19-point defense, not against this team. And even though the Niner game was fake because Purdy got hurt, and the Giant game was fake because Daniel Jones sucks. So it really led to, again, they didn't play anybody like a Mahomes. So therefore, I said, no, they're not an under team, they're an over team. And, and KC I knew was not an under team. They let up points, but with Mahomes, they just outscore you. So the same thing is in college. Here's Houston with this great defense. Did they play a bunch of nobodies that didn't have offense? Was their league? I know it's like the Atlantic League, where they maybe they don't have good offenses. Who knows? But that's really what you're running into with that. So that's what you're really looking at. So you've got to dig in with all that's going on. I'm really not in bad. I'll do it in the NBA playoffs, but right now it's just a spur of the moment. Here's how I would pick it, and I probably hit 50% now. I did good yesterday. I couldn't believe Alabama and Houston both got killed. They didn't lose; they got killed. I was skeptical, laying 7.5. I didn't want to do it. I'm in the car at the second half of the Alabama game. Now they take a 9-10 point lead. I go, here they go. Next thing I know, it's a 3-point lead. Next thing I know, they're down 10, losing the game, and Houston just never showed up. Bad matchup for them. Texas was the only game I did pick, the over, and then just missed by a half a point Princeton. They lost by 11, getting 10.5. That wasn't a bad bet. I don't mind that one. But again, that's not what it's at. So again, you're trying to figure out, if you take the totals, you're trying to figure out how meaningful they are. So you're going to the next level. They give up 19 points a game in college. Now, we did the same thing with USC, UCLA, and Utah, right? We'd see they had good defenses, but against weak offenses. Then when Utah played UCLA beat them like 40-37. So now here comes Utah against UCLA, and I'm like, Utah's got a good defense, but not against UCLA. And once I could do that, then I could bet the over in the USC game, and it was 43-42. It was an 85. Why am I high on Rising? Because he came back, tied the game up, put him down 1, and then went for 2, and they won the game 43-42 behind Rising. And that's why I'm high on Rising. He won the game for him. He beat USC twice. Nobody else could beat him. UCLA lost a heartbreaker to him by 2 or 3 points. So the defenses look good until they played that game. And when UCLA plays USC or Utah with those quarterbacks, then the games were not – you couldn't look at the defense at 18-19. Now it's going to be a 70-point game. And that's exactly what we did. Same thing with Georgia's defense. They held everybody. They held Tennessee just to 13 points. But then all of a sudden LSU lit them up. And, Georgia won like 50-30, right? An 80-point game for Georgia. But that got me, something's wrong here. Then against Ohio State, I don't go under. I take Georgia even, which wins. And then here comes TCU, a very high-scoring team, and I go, now I'm betting it over. So in midstream, they went from a lock under to a lock over, which is very unusual. Don't know why Georgia's defense went down. Actually, against TCU, their defense played great. They gave up 7 points. It was their offense that scored 100. So, but again, TCU did not have a good defense. Michigan lit them up. I knew Georgia would light them up, but I thought TCU would score 20 points. I thought it would be like 45-20 or something. But anyway, so you got to see who they're playing in the matchup. And that's really the key. So we're not really digging in. I'm not digging into Houston's schedule to see. I'm just looking at, they give up 58 points a game and they're an under, like I did Tennessee. Now, again, we're Tennessee. I won all the unders, right? I won the Florida Atlantic under. I won the Duke under. And the first game was Lou Lafayette. So Tennessee under did work, where Houston's under didn't. I don't know if there's an injury or not. Again, I'm not abreast enough to know. I did see the guy injured on Texas. He was sitting on the bench with the boot on. So I caught that. But I'm not into the college because of pro football going till February as I am into college football. So that's why I really don't, advertise or sell basketball picks. However, I will NBA playoffs. That'll be a different animal. But in this case, I'm not really trying, this is just, let's have some fun and try to, you still couldn't pick I picked the Final Four: Alabama, Houston, UCLA, and Tennessee, and none of them. Then that was it after the first round. Now you got what? San Diego State, Creighton, Florida Atlantic, Kansas State, Miami and Texas, and UConn, Gonzaga. Good luck picking the Final Four there. You can't. I'm going to take Creighton, and San Diego State just beat Alabama. Florida Atlantic, maybe Kansas State seems to be the better. Are they the better team? Can you pick the better team here? And I'm saying you can't. Connecticut, Gonzaga. I know a lot of people think Connecticut's good. All right, they beat Arkansas, they beat St. Mary's, and they beat Iona. I don't know. Is that good? I don't know. Arkansas beat Kansas, but Gonzaga beat UCLA, and they beat the Grand Canyon. You can't mess with the team that beats the Grand Canyon. You got to be careful there. So I don't know really what, who's better, Connecticut or Gonzaga, or Miami or Texas. You think Texas is better, but Miami just killed Houston. So all bets are off. So you can't even pick the Final Four here, more or less the final. We can't even pick today's games. We have no idea. Like it's what did I do today? I went over with Texas, Miami, and I went San Diego State, give me a half, and Florida Atlantic, Kansas State. I took Kansas State, and Connecticut, Gonzaga, I went over. So I can't even pick Gonzaga, Connecticut, and I can't pick Texas, Miami. So I'm going over under. San Diego State I like because they beat Alabama, and then Florida Atlantic, Kansas. I like Kansas State, but only because of the brand. They're Big 12. I know they're a pretty good team. They beat Michigan State, so let's give them credit. I couldn't name anything. I don't even know what Florida Atlantic's uniforms look like. So you got to be very careful, which leads me into investing and buying stocks and bonds and mutual funds and listening to brokers. If you don't know it, don't do it. I'm not betting basketball because I don't know college right now. But I bet a lot on pro football, college football, and we make a lot of money on it. We being me, make a lot of money on it because that I know. So you stick to things you know. Don't trust a stockbroker or a mutual or a financial manager unless you know him, unless you know his track record, unless you know what he picks and you can trust him. And I guarantee there ain't nobody you can trust except for me that knows what the fuck's going on about bank collapses. Who else is telling you to buy gold and silver, right? That's the play. As I said, there's no risk in gold and silver. You're going to make money, especially with all the other circumstances. So it's like saying, oh, Mahomes is out, Kelsey's out, let's bet against Kansas City, right? That's basically what I'm telling you. You have massive inflation, which is printing the money. If you bail out then you have bank bailouts, which means people are going to get their money out of the bank. And where are they going to go with it? Bitcoin or gold and silver? And apparently they're all going into gold and silver because my guy has no gold and silver. He's like, for him to be out of silver, bullion is amazing because he always had a ton. He doesn't have any. I mean, I had to buy, this is what I had to buy to get the bullion was that he pulls out, these 5 ounces that he pulls out of his back room that he found. Oh yeah, we found 5 ounces. Fine, I'll buy, it was $27. Fine, I'll buy the 5 ouncer. And then, so I only bought 15 of these instead of 20 because why pay 35 if it's not going to benefit me? I think maybe $1 or $2 it'll benefit me. I'll get a little bit more for it, but I'm thinking $1,000 an ounce, so I don't care. So it comes back to trust. Somebody gives you football picks. Do you trust them? You trust me, but do you trust them? Somebody tells you about gold and silver and get out of the stock market. Do you trust them? Do you know them enough to trust? And that's really today's lesson, right? Basketball, I don't know enough. Don't trust me on basketball because I can't tell you who's going to win, but I gave you Kansas City in the over in the Super Bowl and it won. So that's my area of expertise. Gold and silver, pro and college football, Austrian economics, the free market and everything like that. So like I told you, Ford lost $300 billion this quarter, or $3 billion or $30 billion. I don't know. They lost a ton because they're not selling electric cars because nobody wants to buy them. The other problem is going to be electricity. As more people buy electric cars, they're going to charge their electric cars. So my friend at the coin store, we're talking about electric cars. He says, but, at night, everybody's plugging them in the charge. So the electricity's lower at night. And, you're going to have problems. I guess the water pressure was lower because the electricity used to do the water was lower because everybody's charging their cars. Then they're going to start trying to tax. So there's a gas tax, right? So when you see $3.25 a gallon for gas, probably 60, 70 cents is taxes, federal tax, state tax, a gas tax for the road. They're going to try to do the same for electricity. So when you when you charge your car, you think, oh, it's cheap. No, it's not going to be cheap, and they're going to add a tax to it. Just like cell phones they never had cell phones. Cell phones come into existence, boom, let's add a tax. Now there's a tax on it. So there's a tax on everything. So keep that in mind. Here's one thing I wanted China to mobilize. This is our guy. China to mobilize 25,000 tons of citizens' gold. So now the citizens in China have 25,000 tons of it. Citizens here, what? I got 50 ounces. Bobby, you got a few ounces. I mean, look what China's doing, and we know they control it. So China's got all the ounces. So look out. So this is what you have to be careful of. And now you got this idiot. Oh, yeah, banking crisis. Yeah, we know. Like, hello. See, I don't know why these idiots do it. They talk about it. Now, see, there they have this guy's Liberty and Finance, the guy doing it. He's kind of weird. He asks questions that take so long. I think he's an engineer and he wants to be an economist. I don't know. He asks really bad questions, really long questions that you're like, what the fuck's just, what color is the sky? That's it. Now let the guy finish. So again, these guys just come on, but oh, really? There's a banking crisis. We had no idea. Get your money out. Well, I told you that what 6 months ago. The run to gold is accelerated. Tell your family to buy this now. See, I hate this idiot. Peter Schiff's an idiot. He's a salesman. These asset class will save you. But he doesn't say buy gold in the headline. Tell your family. See, this is a guy who's a salesman. You can see that. Tell your family to buy this now, which is gold. Why don't you just say buy gold? I put it in my head. Sports, basketball, football, gold, da 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 da. So you know what I'm talking about. And first thing I get to is buy your gold. So anyway. So we know what's happening. The banks are collapsing. The yen's collapsing. The money's collapsing. We all know that. And then COMEX is collapsing, more important for us. So we buy these for 35, and then you're going to add 2 zeros to it, and it's be 3,500. Well, we don't even know what it's going to be worth because we don't know if these are still going to be around, right? These will be the last to go. It'll take a while. So let's say those go to 3,500, but soon these go away. And that, don't worry about it. They'll have to come out with new dollars, and this will be worth a lot on its own. It doesn't, see, this is the difference between this and Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs dollars. This doesn't. Gold doesn't. They don't need US dollars. They are money in itself, which is the beauty of it. This is worth whatever silver will buy. And people, okay, so the banks are collapsing. People either run into stocks, Bitcoin, or gold or silver. Stock's going to collapse. Bitcoin is not real money. It'd be like, to me, it's like a Mantle card. Well, not even a Mantle card. It's like a Brady card. Bitcoin's a Brady card. But you can't go to the store with it. This is real money, right? The Brady card isn't a card. It's not money, right? You got to go sell it to get money. This you could use, or you could sell this to get money also. But people will give you money for this. So what'll happen is this will be replaced with new money. And they'll say, oh, well, they'll blame the Russians. The Russians are counterfeiting it and printing it. And that's why there's the inflation. It's not really the money, it's the Russians. And therefore, we're coming out with new money that's not inflated, which is a bunch of bullshit. They're printing the money to death. But we do need money to go to we need money to, so this is 1,000 an ounce. I go get 1,000. I sell in the ounce. I get 1,000 of this or the new currency. So I can go to Target, go to Kroger's, go out to dinner, go get my Chinese food. I'm going to need that. Now, can I go to the Chinese food with the silver and buy my dinner? Right now I could. I already told you I can go to the barbecue place and buy ribs. But the silver is not worth enough. It's only worth, the spot's $23. I don't want to sell it at $23. I want to sell it at $1,000. So I don't want to use the silver now for food. I want to use it much later. And that's what will happen. So keep that in mind. That's why we're buying it so cheap, so much. That's why I keep pushing. That's why I just bought it. Do I need this? I don't know. Now I got 510 ounces. How much is enough? I don't know. I know I'm going to have to give some to my friends, but I don't know what it's really worth, right? I can't say. So I know it's going to be worth a lot more. And I know it's going to buy a whole lot. And I know people are going to be in trouble. And it's good like that. So I don't really want to sell it till it goes way up in value. That's the key, right? So we will see. But I'm running to buy it now because all the shit's hitting the fan, right? Banking collapse, people running into gold and silver. COMEX is being blown up. Finally, it's been so low for so long that when it does blow up, this is going to go up so high so quickly, you won't believe it, right? This will go $50, $200, $500, $1,000, probably in a month. Once it starts going, then once the U.S. people start waking up going, oh, I guess we need to take our money out and really buy gold and silver, forget Bitcoin, and forget the stock market. Anybody that's in the stock market really needs to get out for many reasons. One, obviously the stock's going to crash. But two, can you trust the Enrons and the Madoffs who are running your companies that they're not going to just take the money and then the company goes to zero and they, oh, you know what, we needed gold. So we sold all our money and we just got out of the company and we bought a bunch of gold and silver. We protect because we know, okay, the guy, let's look at what's his name, who runs Tesla, whatever. So the guy who runs Tesla, Musk, realizes that he's fucked. Nobody's going to buy electric. He's going to say, you know what? Instead of running the company, I can take all the assets and sell them. And he knows about gold and silver. I'll just buy all this gold and silver. I don't care about the company. I'll make so much money on gold and silver, I don't need it. And what happens to you as the shareholder? You're fucked because Tesla stock just went to nothing because he closed the doors because he wanted to buy gold and silver. That's what I would do. That's what I'm doing, right? I'm not even in a company. I'm just saying, fuck it. I'm just buying gold and silver. So that's really what the whole point is that you have to be careful with the stocks. You can't trust these guys in the stock market. Again, you're relying on somebody else to make you money. And it's very hard. You can do it in the short run. You can buy Microsoft stock and it goes up for a little bit and you made money. Problem is, you don't get out of it. Just like at the crap table. You hit 4 or 5 points and you know the 7's going to pop. So how long are you going to play that game until the 7 hits and then you lose everything? You're going to go cry? Oh, the 7 came out and I lost all my money. Well, you were up. Take your fucking profit. This is the thing you need to do in stocks, and you need to do it if you're in Bitcoin or bonds, anything you play, blackjack, craps, baccarat, roulette, any type of thing. And it's all gambling. Stocks are gambling as much as casino, as much as poker. You see me, I play poker. I get up a couple $100, I'm gone, man. Before my aces get cracked by a set of 3s, I am gone. Because you can only win so much. It's all luck, poker. And therefore, aces should beat 3s 100% of the time. There's only 2 3s left in the deck at most if nobody else has it on the deal. And hopefully it's not a burn card. So therefore, there's 2 3s left. You should win that 99.9% of the time. Yet, how many times do your aces get cracked by a set? A lot, or a straight or a flush. Hands that should never lose, but they lose. And that's my point. So you've got to, when you get up and you hit it, you got to get the hell out. Play a few more hands gingerly and get the fuck out. And then you got to be happy winning 400 or 500. If you play 1-2, if you play, you're a big shot. You play with Doyle Brunson, then I get 10 or 15,000. I'd get up and leave. And again, get your money out of the dollars. So you're in a bank, get it the fuck out because the banks are all collapsing. They are all collapsing. Maybe JP Morgan, because they are the Fed, will print their own money, but everybody else, it's just Wells Fargo, Bank of America will be the last to leave the game, but they're all in trouble. I saw Comerica's in trouble. They're a big bank here in Detroit, Comerica Stadium. I love every company that has their name on a stadium has gone broke. It's hysterical, except for AT&T in Dallas. And they're probably going broke anyway. Then I saw where Apple actually made this huge stadium for some reason. I don't know why. What are they going to play at Apple Stadium? But just use your logic, right? How many people are going to go buy $1,500 Apple iPhones in this economy? Not a lot. Stock should be going down. Yeah, they sell computers. Yeah, maybe it's 200-300. Maybe they put the computers on sale. You watch. I guarantee you they'll put the Apple iPhone on sale if they haven't already. I don't buy iPhones because I don't want to be tracked. You are tracked and monitored on your iPhone, right? You have no privacy on your iPhone. You are tracked. There's devices in there that's tracking you. So not even that, but like cameras and everything else. So you're fucked if you think you're safe with an iPhone. So just be careful there. But that's really, you'll see things going out. The housing market's crashing. So your only really safety is our little friends here, the silver and gold friends. This is your buddies. This is your friends. You got to be smart enough to get into them. You got to play that game, right? So I'm telling you to play that game. Get out of blackjack, get out of craps, take your winnings in poker, and take your winnings and buy this, and go buy silver and gold. That's your out. Then this is all going to jump, right? So you're waiting. You're on the elevator you're on the lobby floor, and it's going to the penthouse, and you're in line to go up to the penthouse. In the housing market, you're in the penthouse coming down, and in the stock market, you're coming down, and in the banks, there is no elevator. You got to jump because you're fucked. Well, I got 500,000 in there. Well, okay. Not only are you not going to be able to get it out, but it's in this shit. It's really not. You don't really have much of a value anyway. But you need to get it out to buy. This is the point. This is what you need to buy. So why does the professor go and buy another 21 ounces of silver? Because I could get it. Now I had to pay more because he didn't even have the $27. The only one for $27 was this 5-ounce silver bar. He had no silver buffaloes there. Now he might have had them there because he knows the spot price is going up. So why sell it for 27? It costs 23 when it's going up to 35, and I can sell it for 39. Demand's huge. He doesn't even have any. Okay, that's the action. What's the reaction? Well, if he doesn't have any, it means demand's really high. What happens when demand's high? Price goes up. So why would I sell it on a Saturday, even if I got a ton of ounces at this $27? If I just wait a week, I can sell it all for $35. That's what I would do. I wouldn't even have half of it out there. I would just have a little bit out there because, I know the prices are going up. He's trying to keep the lights on and pay the rent, so he needs to turn over his gold and silver. But if he's not smart enough to keep some in the back pocket in the safe and say, well, half of it I'm going to keep in the safe, I got to blow my nose this second. Much better. So if I'm running the store and I know it's going to go up, which I do, even if you don't know anything, if you just can understand, okay, if you don't know what inflation is, you think it's prices, you don't realize it's too much money is printed and that loses the value of the dollar, right? So if you don't understand that, you certainly understand bank runs. You certainly understand the banks collapsing. So the banks are collapsing because none of their money's good because it's all in bonds that the interest rate goes up. And then if the interest rate goes up, the price goes down. So if I bought it for 99 at 1% and interest rates go to 5% because the Fed keeps raising them, and now my $99 bond is worth $89, I just lost $10 a bond and I got billions of dollars worth. I'm fucked. So I take my money out. So where are you going to put the money, right? And do you trust the bank? Well, you can't trust the banks. You can't listen to Janet Yellen, oh, everything's fine. Yeah, bullshit, everything's fine. Only an idiot would say that. She's not qualified for that job, but she's a woman, so they gave her the job. Welcome to this type of environment. So what you have there is people with money in the bank are now going to lose their life savings, which they don't want. We saw that in an attack on Wall Street. The guy lost his 60,000 and he went on a killing spree. This is what people, they think they have their money safe in a bank. They trust the bank. What we learned is as there's no more trust for the government or for the bank, people wake up and then the money collapses. This loses its value. Bank runs all over the place. Do you trust your government? Do you trust your bank? Or do you trust our silver? What do you trust? Do you trust this, which basically you can't lose and it's going to go way up and it's silver, it's real, there's no hocus pocus, Madoff can't say, oh, you don't have it because you have it in your hand? Or do you trust this? And that's being generous, that's how much this dollar's worth. They're printing it to death, which is inflation, is the printing of the money, devaluing it. Well, it's pretty devalued. Now it takes $3 to buy a 2-liter Coke. $3? You ever watch these old TV shows and it's Coke, 15 cents. Leave It to Beaver, Coke, 10 cents. A hamburger, 50 cents. I mean, that's when the money had a value. And since 71, money really had no value because it's not attached to gold anymore. Again, the government got greedy, wanted to print the money and take it and steal it. And they didn't care about you. That's why gold went up to 800 an ounce. Then COMEX came out to kind of calm it down. But that's what you have. So you got to be careful. But watch the bank runs. That's a sign. So you want to get your money out of the bank? How? You go in and say, I got 300,000 in here. Well, I can give you 15, maybe. And I can give you up to 15, maybe, provided there's not another 20 people there trying to pull their money out. I don't see lines at banks. Somebody said, well, you don't need to have a bank run with lines at banks. I'm like, yes, you do. You can pull your money to a different account, still in a bank, but I don't know. The only way to actually get this in your hand is to buy it. Now, maybe can I go to the I suppose I could move it into my checking account and I could go to the gold store and I could have said, give me 100 ounces of, give me all of these 5 ounces that you have and use your debit card. You probably would have taken that. So that's one way to get your money out, would be to buy gold and silver. But if you want to actually touch and feel it, you're not going to get out that money. You're going to get maybe 20 grand of it. So you're going to go back 10 times to pull out 200,000 or 400,000. And the way the value of the money is, there's so many billionaires and millionaires, which are jokes because they're not real. A millionaire used to be a big thing. Now everybody's a billionaire because of the devaluation of the dollar. It's worth nothing. So people are billionaires, but it's not real billion. It's much less than a billion. So what's Zuckerberg going to do? Sell his stock? He doesn't have money. It's based on the value of the stock and the shares outstanding. So he says, oh, I'm a billionaire. You're not a billionaire. You can't sell your stock. And, you can't just take it. So he's fucked. He's not worth anything. Warren Buffett has $2 billion in cash. So let's say you have it where? In a bank, Buffett, or in your safe? Probably in your bank. How are you going to get $2 billion out of your bank? Oh, I'm Warren Buffett. Give me my $2 billion. That ain't going to happen. He's got silver, but he doesn't have gold. The guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't understand inflation. So he thinks things will get real cheap and he's going to use his money to buy it. Only he doesn't realize his money will have no value to buy it. Money, okay, I can buy a Mercedes with this soon. I cannot buy a Mercedes with this, right? This is going to lose its value. This is going to gain its value. So if I'm Warren Buffett and I don't have this and I have 2 billion of this, what am I going to do with it? It's going to be worthless. But he's not that intelligent. Oh, but he's Warren Buffett. Yeah, but he's an idiot. Doesn't understand what inflation is, doesn't understand what's going on. I don't know where his money is at, what, JP Morgan, or where the fuck his money is. Good luck getting that money out of a bank. You're not going to be able to do it. He'd have to go every day to pull out $20,000 for years. That's the problem with the banks. All right. So, again, college basketball today, we've got Connecticut, Gonzaga, and Florida Atlantic against Kansas State. So I have no idea. People seem to like Connecticut, so then I like Gonzaga, and who knows Florida. Again, we don't know the teams to even really comment on it. So we were talking about the NFL draft. Let's change to the NFL. And amazingly enough, these idiots think that C.J. Stroud and Richardson are good quarterbacks and are be taken in the first few picks because Mel Kiper does a mock draft, which I don't even know what that is. Is Mel Kiper going to the teams going, hey, Detroit, who are you going to draft? And they go, oh, Mel, we'll tell you our strategy for the sixth pick. Are you insane? And first of all, I don't care. Mel Kiper doesn't know what he's doing. I don't care what Mel Kiper says. I care when I see real. Once the draft starts and the first pick is whoever, the second pick is whoever, then I get it. At this point, I don't give a shit. I don't listen to these mock drafts. All I see is the top 4 quarterbacks: Stetson Bennett, Georgia; Hooker, Tennessee; Hayner, Fresno State; and who's the fourth one? Oh, yeah, and Thompson Robinson, UCLA. That's who I'm drafting if I'm a GM, and I'm smarter than most of the GMs. I once applied to the teams to be their GM. That says, I'll get you to the Super Bowl in 5 years. I got 2 responses, the Denver Broncos and Detroit, and they both said, well, you can go and apply on the site for positions like, assistant, towel boy, or whatever. And I says, you guys missed the point. I know more about football than any of your coaches ever will. And, again, because I have never been a GM, it's like the guy who's never been a quarterback, right? You don't know what you have until Brock Purdy starts playing. You don't know he's good. You didn't draft him. I mean, you drafted him the last pick. Shows you have no idea. Then he plays. You still want to use Trey Lance after what you saw with Purdy? You think Trey Lance is he's not, I don't know how you drafted him third. You're out of your freaking minds. So anyway, that's what I see. Those are the top 4 quarterbacks. Bijan Robinson, the running back from Texas, is good. But in today's game, you need a pass catcher out of the backfield. And I don't know if he's a pass catcher. The Georgia backs are very good. The Georgia tight end I love. What's his name? Brock Bowers. It's funny. It comes to me when I'm thinking of it. He's the best tight end. I would draft him really high and make him kind of a hybrid, like a Kelsey, a good receiver and a good tight end. But that guy, you need receivers. This is the Bears, Houston. I would be drafting this guy ahead of C.J. Stroud or Richardson. You want to help your team, draft Bowers with your first pick, and then get Hooker or Thompson Robinson in the second or third round as your quarterback. You'd be way ahead. So you draft C.J. Stroud, you're Houston, you're Indy. You have no receivers. He's not going to do shit. He's not any good. He's not as good as these others. What the fuck are you thinking? Well, he was good at Ohio State. So was Fields. So was T.J. Barrett. So was, a dozen other guys that absolutely suck. Excuse me. Don't call during my class. And I love it. It's not even a person. It kind of goes, and then when you say hello, it activates, and then off you go. But see, I don't like the interruption. Anyway, so name an Ohio State quarterback. I think you can't because it's since Urban Meyer's been there and they're running the same offense. The quarterback's useless in the pros. They don't teach him how to read a blitz or a defense. They just say, look at how many people on the line of scrimmage. You're either going to run or throw. And here are the options. And you have, by the way, all these superstar wide receivers that you have. That's really the key. That makes the quarterback look good, but he doesn't have as good a receivers in the pros for some reason. Oh, we like blocking receivers. No. You want passing receivers. You want receivers who can catch, not receivers who can block. So anyway, with that said, they're doing it all backwards. So if you get a Brock Bowers or you get Kincaid from Utah or one of those strong tight ends, now I wouldn't recommend getting them. Bowers maybe with your first pick if you're Houston or Indy, as long as you follow it up with Hooker or Robinson or Bennett or Hainer. As long as you follow it up with them, then you have your quarterback and a very good receiver. But you're not going to get Bowers in the second or third round. He's first round pick. He's the best tight end / receiver in the draft. I believe he's in. I don't know. He might not. He might still be in college one more year. I know he was a freshman last year and a sophomore 2 years ago, a sophomore last year. So I don't know if he's still playing or not. If he is, if he's not drafting, he'll be he should be the top pick when he comes out. A lot of speed, great hands, great player. That's what you want as your tight end. So with that said, get your defensive stud, but I would not waste a top pick. If that's all you're going to do is grab CJ Stroud with the 2 or 3 pick, I would trade the pick. I would get more picks. Then I could get a couple of Georgia defensive players or Iowa defensive players, Iowa State, Washington State, get a linebacker, get a safety, get a defensive lineman, and get more of them because there's too many injuries in the pros, which people never seem to understand. Well, we're only going to have one quarterback. Well, if he gets hurt, then what? It's football. He's going to get hurt. And they try to make it where, you can't touch the quarterback, but inevitably, look at Lamar Jackson. He wants to run. Well, wait, we're protecting the pocket passers, but if you want to run, we can't protect you, and therefore they get hurt, and then you need a backup. So that's why you need a backup quarterback. You need a backup at all positions. That's why you can't pay $35 million for a quarterback and $35 million. You can't pay $35 for a receiver and a quarterback. That's $70 million. What do you got left for the rest of the defense, the rest of the team? You don't have anything left for them. So therefore, that's what you're looking at. So keep that in mind. So these guys are clueless. So if I'm going to take Richardson or CJ Stroud, and I'm not going to take Hooker, or I think I can get Hooker in the second or third round, I'm trading picks, getting more picks, drafting more defense, because that's initially what wins for you. Even Mahomes was a second round pick. Well, he's the last pick of the first round, I think. Even nobody thought he was good. So everybody who thinks these Trevor Lawrence and Tagliabuas are good, or Josh Allen, they're not good. You're not going to win with them. Mayfield, look at Baker Mayfield. That whole draft class, Baker Mayfield and Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold, they all sucked, right? Mayfield's okay. Josh Rosen doesn't even play. Darnold sucked, which I told everybody. So these teams still suck because they wasted draft picks on players they didn't understand and could have had better players, and they didn't draft them. Now, Mahomes, I wouldn't have drafted either. Lamar Jackson, I certainly never would have drafted. He was not a good quarterback. He still isn't. Oh, yeah, he won the MVP. Yeah, that's fixed too. Did he win the Heisman Trophy? No. So that's, winning the MVP is just for show. It's not real. The best player, if the best player were to win it, it would have been Tom Brady every year and Mahomes. Aaron Donald, players like that would win it every year. So anyway, so we'll talk more about the draft as it comes in, but the 4 quarterbacks are definitely Stenson Bennett and Hooker from Tennessee and Thompson Robinson, and I keep forgetting the other one. God, why do I keep forgetting the 4th guy? Or Hayner from Fresno State. I thought there was another SEC quarterback, but those 4 for sure. And Max Duggan from TCU, I think, is a very good one. The rest are still staying in college. USC, Utah Rising, why he's staying, I don't know. It's funny, everybody will want the USC quarterback next year, but me, I would want Rising. Rising's the best quarterback this year. He's the best one next year. For sure. I mean, the USC, it's a gimmick. It's all it's the design, every quarterback that plays for this guy puts up big numbers. But okay, you had Jalen Hurts is not a really good quarterback. He runs good. He's a runner. That's what they are. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, apparently they're not that good, right? Well, they played for him and they put up big numbers. Yeah, but look at them. Baker's okay. Murray sucks. Hurts, I mean, so the USC guys all of a sudden supposed to be good. I'll take Rising over him all day. I'll take Thompson Robinson over him all day. Even Bo Nix and Penix, Washington and Oregon, I like them better. So keep that in mind. These guys don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to draft. They're not very good. What else? Anyway, so I wanted to, get your money in the gold and silver very quickly. Again, I don't know how much more time you have. Now, I just bought 21 ounces of silver today. It cost me, I'm gonna say $600, 6 something. I got my receipt. Somewhere. I don't know. I don't know where it went. It was like $615. For 21 ounces of silver. And what I'm saying is soon you're not going to be able to buy it. You'll be buying 1 ounce for that price. So buy it now. And if I need to, I go back and I paid 35, give me 31 for it. If I need the money, but I'm buying it with money I don't need that much. I can do without it. I have other money knowing this is going to go up and that. All right. That's gold and silver. Watch out for the bank runs. Get your money out, as you know. Football draft, we talked. Basketball, I gave the picks. There. So buy your assets. Be careful with the stock market. Be careful with the bond market. Basically, that's it. So we know what's happening. We know everything's houses are crashing, stocks are crashing, or most of the stocks are crashing. Those big 4 or 5, they're being propped up, but they're not real. When they see the stock market at 32,000, it's because they're propping up the Teslas and the Microsofts, but they're way overvalued and they're going to be out. So get your money out of the bank, get it into gold and silver. Is the only thing it's the only safe way is to trust yourself. Careful who you trust. If you talk to a money manager or a stockbroker, go. Now, he won't tell you to buy gold because he doesn't get commission on it. So you got to understand that. He doesn't get commission on it. He won't tell you about it. If he doesn't tell you about it, then what do you do? So he's going to put you in a mutual fund or an annuity, and again, you're in dollars, which are collapsing. So as the dollars collapse, look out. Anyway, that's what's going on. So I think that's about it. So anything else? So enjoy the baskets. That's tonight. So again, we're taking Connecticut Gonzaga over, and we're taking Kansas State to beat Florida Atlantic. Who the hell knows? And then tomorrow we like San Diego State getting and Miami, Texas over, as Miami seems very explosive. Have no idea. Final Four, obviously have no idea. We'll make picks for the Final Four and final, but don't listen to me. You can listen to me a little bit, but don't take my picks and bet a lot of money on it. But I don't know who can pick this stuff. This is way too many variables. So unless you watch, now I know we've had guys on here say, "Oh, I like Connecticut," and they've been good. So maybe stay with Connecticut, maybe stay with Miami. San Diego State beat Alabama. Maybe you want them. And then Florida Atlantic, Kansas State. Kansas State beat Michigan State. Maybe you go there. So it's really hard. I could see any of the 8 really in the finals. They're all even. You can't pick any of them. So that's that. Football, we're getting ready for it. We are in March. Off we go. And I think that's about it then. I don't have any questions or comments, so I can't get into conversations like I do with Bobby and with Nick and those guys where we start getting into health. I am eating my avocados. I'll go to the gym. Today's Chinese food day. She said she's closing April 2nd. So she's there next Saturday, and then she's taking 2 weeks off. So business is good. She can take 2 weeks off. She must make a lot of money. Probably not as much as she could because her prices aren't as high as they should for the demand. So her market's up here, and she's charging here. Right, so she's doing the inverse of the rib place. So she's here. She just raised from 11 to 13, but you could sell it for 15. I'd still buy it. So she's under value. So she makes good money because I go in there at 3:00 today, and there'd be 10 people doing carryouts, and they do big carryouts. And then I can go in at 6:00, and there'll be another 25 people. So it doesn't matter when I get there. There's a lot of people eating it. So keep that in mind. So usually it's the other way around, but that's the thing. So I had that discussion at the coin store about the barbecue place, and I said, the guy, he can, just because prices go up, you can't just raise your price if you can't move your inventory. See, he doesn't. He's saying, well, prices are up, so I'm going to raise my cost. I'm going to raise my price because my costs are up. I said, well, that doesn't work. It's up to the market. Will the market take it? If the market won't accept your price increase, you're going to have to lower your price because you won't be able to sell your inventory. That's business. So just kind of explaining that to him, like this is what's happening. Because most people don't understand it. They think prices will go up. And he says, well, prices will never go down. I go, that's not true. Camry raised to 30,000. Now they're 27. They did lower their prices. Prices go down all the time. And so when you're talking to these guys, they're just salesmen. They really don't know. But because I know, I can see right through them and go, no, you're wrong. Prices do come down if they can't move the inventory. They're again fishing for the market. But if interest rates are high and costs are high, the market's dropping because you can't afford as much because other costs that you can't substitute, like your electricity and your heat and the gas for your car, you have to have those. Your rent, so all that you have to have. And if you have to have it, therefore, if you have to have it, then you're going to pay for it. So it's the other stuff that you don't have to have, but, I don't have to have ribs. I can have chicken. So the things you can substitute and have competition for, you substitute and have competition for. So therefore, those prices might come down, or other prices. Like I even saw the grass-fed beef. I went to Meijer. It was $12.99 the other day. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was $9.99. they can't sell it at $12.99 because they're trying to sell it as grass-fed beef, but now it's $9.99. So yeah, prices go up and down based on what this guy says. This guy says this, prices do that. So that's really what you have. And you got to be careful. So you've got to understand that. That's what people aren't. They just assume, well, prices go up, they'll never come down. Well, that's not true. Look at the housing prices, right? They went up to what, 400,000 on average? Well, they're down probably to 250 now. They're going down. The stock market never goes down. It's going down. Everything goes up. Everything goes down because you get to the market. So you're trying to find the market. And as the market, things cost more, my market goes down. If I go to the rib place again, I'm not getting my chicken rib combination for $23. I'm probably going to go just get the half chicken at $13. It's cheaper. And it's, it's the same thing. I just don't get the ribs. I don't need the ribs. They keep hurting my foot when I go anyway. So that's really what you have. Things do come up, go down. They go to the market. You're always looking for the market. In poker, in stocks, in women, in whatever you're doing, you always look at the market. So, that's what you're creating. So prices go up, they do go down. So the guy at the coin store doesn't know what he's talking about, but I know he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I don't really listen to him for that. I know my economics. I don't need to listen to a guy. And that's really what you need to do is you need to learn who to listen to and who not to listen to. And don't just say, oh, my stockbroker told me to buy stocks or annuities now. You know enough that this is worth shit. Don't get into it. You get into this, you can't lose. It's 0% risk, and it's going to go up a ton. So that should be, you shouldn't even ask the question. And any money you have, you should get out and put it into gold and silver before you can't get it anymore. Look at, he had none of this. The only thing he had that was like a bullion was this, the 5-ounce thing. That was the only thing he had. He didn't have any. He had some Donald Trumps that he was selling for $30, not $27. So they're running out. The demand is huge. The supply is low. He was supposed to get all this bullion in, but he didn't get it. Why didn't he? Because the demand. They don't have it to give them. So it's starting to dry up. Prices will go up and you won't be able to find it. This is what my great fear is. You're going to go want to buy 20 more ounces of silver and you can't get it. Or now you're spending $100 an ounce on it. And that's indeed going to hurt you. Okay. So that's what's going on. Enjoy the basketball. We'll talk NFL draft. Don't listen to the mock drafts. And basically get your gold and silver to get out of the banks and get out of these bank runs and to get out. Keep your eye, China with 25,000 tons to their civilians. They're mobilizing, whatever that means. I think they're going to use it as what it means. They want to come out with a dollar backed by gold, which will make gold and silver go through the roof. And that's coming quickly. And the U.S. is trying to cut it off, and there's nothing they can do. And the U.S. is too stupid to have gold. What the fuck are they thinking? How do they not have any gold? Because they're Keynesians. That's why I bring up Keynesians and Austrians. Austrians are us. We want free market. We want gold for safety and strong dollar because we want strong dollar and strong laws. And the Keynesians want the government to run everything, don't believe in gold, think we'll just print more money. They can't understand the concept. If you print more money, it becomes worth, it loses value. They can't understand that concept. It blows my mind. What do you mean you can't understand that concept? How can you not understand that concept? It's a very simple concept. So this is the problem with it. So anyway, that's what's happening. Keep that in mind. Enjoy basketball today. Go buy your gold. See, so I always back it up. I got 21 ounces today because I bought this. I bought this for you, Bobby. This is the Mercury Dime Silver that they made in 2018. Oh, it's a cute coin. I just got it just for cute. And then He ran out of bullion, so I got a 5-ounce bar. It's really thick. So it's not as big as the 10 ounces is longer but thinner. This is really a thick one. And I love the orange. So I said, what's the orange? And then I opened it up and saw that, there's where the silver is. So it's fine to buy 5-ounce 5-ounce silver bars, 10-ounce silver bars. There's nothing wrong with it. Instead of taking 5 coins in, or let's say you want to go to Europe and you want to take 5 ounces, take a 5-ounce bar. Like I might take this when I go to Spain and give it to my girlfriend and say, here, instead of giving you 5 ounces, I'm going to give you this 5-ounce bar. It's the same thing, but only it's much easier to carry and much easier to keep out of sight and go to the bank and get 5 ounces worth. So we will see. Anyway, I think that's about it. Any questions or comments, please feel free. That's why I do it live for the, Bobby normally asks all the questions, but I don't know where he is. He's tardy again. I don't know. You getting General Chow today, Bobby? Anyway, I think that's it. So enjoy your day. The crash is coming. We all know that. We are protecting ourselves with the gold and silver. We all know that. The U.S. is destroying their own currency. We have no fucking idea if they're that stupid and they're doing it on purpose or are they doing it by accident. We got Powell raising interest rates, destroying all the banks. Is he that stupid or does he want to destroy the banks? And if he wants to destroy the banks and the economy, there is no more USA. He's put himself out of a job and he's fucked the whole country. And if he thinks, we'll go to central bank digital currency, he's out of his fucking mind. Nobody will have any money. Oh, yeah, we all want to be controlled. We're all idiots. So I don't know what this guy's thinking, but we're not going to central bank digital currency. Well, I'll let you have $10, Howard, but you can't go to the gold store. You can't use to buy gold and silver. Okay, thanks a lot. You can't go to Europe to visit your girlfriend. Oh, yeah, great, thank you. Yeah, just shoot me now. So the whole thing sounds so stupid. Anyway, that's what's happening. So have a nice day. Understand it. We know the banks are failing. Don't rely on the money. Get your money out of the fucking bank as quick as you can and go buy this. Still $35 an ounce. Go buy as much as you can eat. And just keep it and just wait a little bit. And soon it'll be worth a lot more. Eventually 2 or 3 grand. Right now it'll go to 50 to 100. Once it starts going, it'll cook. 100 will lead to 500 very quickly. This will not still be $25 an ounce or $35. It's never going to happen. Too many bank failures and too many people pulling their money out buying it. There's too much demand. COMEX is blown up, and therefore that's it. That's the mechanism to keep it down is gone. They've killed it. So watch what happens. Should be a very interesting April. But I think you're going to start seeing this finally reach its real value and not the bullshit paper value. And keep in mind, paper versus physical. This is priced at paper derivative bullshit. Just like this. This is priced at bullshit. This has very little value. The physical price of this is much, much higher. Keep that in mind. This is worth a hell of a lot more than I paid $35 an ounce for today. It's worth a hell of a lot more than that. So buy it while you still, I'm telling you to buy it now while the price is still low, and B, while you still can. Like I said, my guy didn't have any. He did not have any buffalo bullion. I had to buy this as the bullion, and then I had to buy this because this is all he really had. And he only had 2 tubes of it. He had 2 tubes of it and maybe 10 ounces out there. That was it. He doesn't have any. He said, I thought there'd be a rush this morning. I said, that's why I came at 10:30. He opens at 10 on Saturdays. That's why I came bright and early. Because if I came now after the show, I bet he wouldn't even have any. I bet it'd be all gone because people understand, get your money out of the bank. And what you do with your money is you buy this. So you're trading this for this doesn't really cost you anything. It actually makes you a fortune because this is going to zero, this is going to the moon, and you're not paying any more for it. You're just exchanging this for that. So there's no risk. This ain't going to zero. It's impossible. Too much demand for it to make it go. Like electric cars could go to zero because as they all catch on fire and you need to use electricity and they add a tax to it to use the electricity, it's going to be very expensive to run an electric car. It's a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. There's no point in it. The demand might go out. They might say, you know what, I don't want it. It's too many fires. The batteries are expensive. They go too quickly. They last 6 months. I got to buy a new one for $5,000. You know what? I don't want an electric car. That'll kill with demand. That kills the market. I have an electric car. I paid $40,000 for. It's a Tesla. I try to sell it. Nobody wants it. That's when you get in trouble for buying what's called a male investment, or you're not listening to the Say's Law. They're selling something there's no demand for. You bought it, and now you're stuck with it, and then the price is here, and now you're trying to get rid of it, and nobody wants it. That's your problem with an electric car versus this, where there's huge demand, and you can always sell it, and you're going to sell it at a huge profit very shortly as the bank runs. So I'm giving you the reason. Between the inflation and the bank runs, you have the reason why it's going to go up. I'm giving you a reason why it's low is Comex and JP Morgan keeping it low because they want you to stay in dollars, because once you realize gold goes up, then you're fucked basically, right? Then the dollars are worthless. Now, I did notice there was the West Virginia congressman was asking to go on the gold standard. Now, you don't realize what that means. It means that he knows the dollar's fucked. So he wants to go on the gold standard. Well, if people realize what he's saying, oh, we're all fucked. We need to go on the gold standard to save our ass. That's what he's saying. Just as I'm saying, you got to get out of this and into this, right? This is what I'm saying. He's saying the same thing. We need to get rid of this and go back to gold standard. That's what he's saying. Now he's the government admitting we need the gold standard, right? I'm an economist telling you it's your only way out, and you're going to make a fortune on it. So not only do you have zero risk, you have huge reward. And when you're trying to do an investment, you're looking at risk reward. So you're going, well, if I buy Amazon, if I buy Microsoft stock, it's $200 a share, but the risk is low, and I'm going to make some money. But if I buy Coca-Cola, I can buy it at $40. But the reward's not good. So you're looking for something with very little risk and as much a reward, return on investment as you can get. And I'm telling you, you cannot beat this. You have zero risk and you have huge reward. You have zero risk. This is not going anywhere. It might go down $1 or $2 because of Comex in the short run. Oh, went to 20. Now it's back to 23. That's not even close to the price. The price is thousands of dollars for this. It's coming, right? That's your reward. Your risk is nothing. You have no risk. Where else can you find an investment with no risk and huge reward? And this isn't even an investment. This is just money. You're buying money, but because all this paper, the yen, the Swiss franc, the euro, the pound is going to zero, the only option is this. You have no competition for this. You are not buying dollars of that. You're coming out with the BRICS countries with a gold-backed currency. Is not competition. That adds to the value. Is the money's going to be backed by gold, which means if I want to go into the bank with a 100 ruble note and I can get a half ounce of gold with it, I go to the bank, they give me a half ounce of gold. That's what a gold standard means. The money is backed by gold, which means the price of gold goes through the roof. It's win-win-win, but you have no risk here. This is the only thing. It's not even an investment. You have no risk, huge return. I don't know what else anybody would want. I mean, you can't lose. As I said with the movies, the guy loses $60,000 in Attack on Wall Street. He wouldn't have lost in gold and silver. Madoff, if I would have bought gold and silver instead of giving the money to Madoff, I'd have made a fortune. And I wouldn't have lost, and I wouldn't hear, oh, it was all a scam. It was all a Ponzi scheme. You lost all your money. You would never have heard that with gold and silver. Enron, you never would have heard that. All these banks going out, you never would hear that. You have no risk holding gold and silver that it's going to collapse and you're going to wake up and go, you don't have any value. It's zero. You have that can't happen because of the demand for this as real money, which it is since the Romans. So you have I talk football and I said, well, Brady went from New England to Tampa. I don't have any trends because now I have Tampa. I got to use Tampa Bay trends with Brady. So I got to start over. You have the Roman trend, right? So you can go back to the Roman Empire 2,300 years ago and go, yeah, gold, silver. Yep. They're always on the winning team unless they got debased, but this is actual silver. It can't get debased. I already have it. The new ones could be debased, but you don't care. You don't have them. Once you take possession, you have it. That's why you can't be in ETFs because you don't have possession of it. You're never going to get it. There was a show I was watching, one of these YouTube shows, and the guy sitting there trying to get his silver out of the ETF, and they wouldn't give it to him. He tried and tried and tried, and he says, I can't get it. So if you want to fuck with the ETFs, you're never going to get your money out. If you're gold stocks, you don't own any gold, but you tend to make money. You tend to make money as the price of gold goes up, the stock goes up, but you're not taking physical gold. The only way to take physical gold is to go buy physical. I have physical. You can't take it away. I can't wake up with zero. There's nothing that can happen. And this is going from I paid 35 for it. It'll be 1,000 very soon. Well, Howard, how can it go to 1,000? It's never been over 50 because it's been COMEX paper derivative priced for the last 50 years. And that blows up. It's gone. Now it goes to demand and supply. The demand's up here. Now the price goes up. That's why it's not going to hit 50 and it's going to go much higher because you're looking at apples and oranges. Everything you look at, and all these idiots to come on and say, well, I looked at 1980, what price of gold and silver did, and I looked at 2000, and I looked at 2008. You're looking at derivative paper price for gold and silver. That is manipulated by JP Morgan. That's what you're looking at. You're never looking at the free market price. Now we are. That's why I'm saying these numbers will go through the roof because they haven't been free market ever. I don't even know if $35 an ounce in 1969 was free market. I doubt it. The government was holding the price because the government doesn't want competition of this because they know they'll lose. And then they won't be in power. And then what are they going to do? If everybody walks around with $1 million in gold and silver, what's the government? We don't need you. We'll take care of ourselves. Thank you very much. You always want to take care of yourself. That's another part of Austrian economics is independence from government and corruption. You want free market and you want to be free. That's all it is. It's freedom. I'll take care of myself. But I'm not smart enough to understand money. Well, that's why I'm here. Now you understand money, and then it's all the freedom. Money's freedom, right? I want to go to Hawaii. Okay, I need 2 of these. Now I'm going to Hawaii with 2 pieces of silver. That's what that does for you, and they can't take it away from you. They never come to take it away. They can give you a 1099 and tax you when you sell it, but you'll make so much money on it, it doesn't matter. I don't mind paying $1,000 in tax if I bought this for $35 and I sell it for $5,000 an ounce. Yeah, okay. I still make $4,000 on it. Yeah, okay. I don't think you'll pay a tax on $5,000, but I think it's over 10. But either way, you're going to make a lot more than the 35 you paid, and that's the whole point. It's freedom. I want to go to Europe, see my girlfriend. I'm going to Europe, see my girlfriend. This will allow me, if I'm in this, maybe, credit card, yeah, okay, but we'll see. But anyway, that whole thing is just, It's I think they'll still have credit cards and debit cards and money, but the gold and silver will be huge. Like they'll come out with new money because you need money to go to the grocery store, right? So I'm gonna sell this, get $1,000 for it. So I get 1,000 of these, put it in my bank, use it for my debit card. And then when I go to the cashier to buy my food, I use the debit card. So I use the cash that I got from this. I don't. People ask me, well, what do I do? How do I pay for coffee with this? Because it's going to be so expensive. And I'm like, you don't. Just like if you had a Rolex, right? If I had a Rolex worth 20 grand, I'm not going to the grocery store with it. I'm selling it to get this, to then go to the grocery store with it. So, you know, you got a Picasso, it's worth a lot. You got a house that's worth a lot, a car. You're not taking the car to the grocery store to buy it or the restaurant. You're getting the cash. That's why you need cash. You need that middle thing to do the medium of exchange, to do the transactions of pay your utility bills, pay your rent, pay your groceries, go out for dinner, go to the movies. You need this to do all that. That's really that's why that's the medium of exchange, and that'll never go away. And that's fine. But then we're all going to make money on this, which is going to buy us more of that. Right now, this will buy us $25 of this, and then eventually it'll be 1,000 of these. Even if these go down in value, then the value of this offsets it, and then we go eat our ribs, and you know we've exchanged this. That's why I won't pay for ribs with this now, because it's only $25. I'll wait till it hits 1,000 to trade them in. So that's really what I'm doing, is waiting to trade them in. All right, I guess that's it for today. Have a wonderful day. I'm off to the pool in Chinese, my normal Saturday routine, and we will go from there. So have a great day, everybody. www.teaserking.com, although there's nothing for sale right now until football season. I will be doing draft videos and talking final. We'll talk basketball as best we can. Again, we've got the 2 games today. I took Kansas State, and then I took Gonzaga, Connecticut over 153. So I think Kansas State beat Michigan State. I just think they're probably a better team. And then, again, Florida Atlantic it's not like they beat Purdue. And then you got Gonzaga and Connecticut. I just think it'll be high scoring. And then tomorrow, San Diego State, and then the over in the Texas game. We'll see what happens. We don't know. God, please don't bet a lot on it. And then get your money out of the bank as quick as you can before you don't have a bank to get it out of. And if you're going to wait for FDIC to bail you out, you think they can bail everybody out? They're saying they can, but if 100 banks go out and they need $10 trillion, how the fuck are they going to print 10? And if they do print $10 trillion, go buy as much gold and silver as you can, because they really reduce the value of this. The more they print, the less it's worth. Never forget that. That's why you want money backed by gold. That's why the BRICS countries are going to come out with dollars backed by gold, is going to be the best currency next to the actual gold and silver. That'll be the best thing. And that will raise the price of gold and silver. And even if the dollar goes out, you don't need gold and silver in dollars. Gold and silver is its own currency. You don't need a reserve currency. Just use gold and silver. That's all you need. But they can't print gold and silver. That's why they don't want it. They want to be in dollars where they can print 1 million, because the people in charge are basically, freaking criminals. And they think if they print another $1 trillion and put it in their pockets, they don't understand they're losing value on it. And then where do they put it? In a bank, and then the bank goes under. And that's so ironic. JP Morgan prints it, and then the bank goes under. And now they can't get the $1 trillion they just printed. But if they had gold, they wouldn't need it. So hard to believe that many people are that stupid that they don't understand gold and silver. But this is why it's not taught, except for by yours truly, the professor, the only one. And keep in mind, Money Heist, they didn't steal Bitcoin. They stole gold. So there's a reason for all that. Anyway, have a wonderful day. www.teaserking.com. You can get my email if you want to email me, ask me a question. The banks are going under. There's nothing that's going to stop them because all their money's in these bonds or in bad loans. Cars are going under, or car companies are going under. Used car market is getting flooded. So the prices are dropping because people can't afford the loans because they're going up. So therefore, they can't afford them anymore. And then houses are going down in value because the interest rates are going up. They can't afford the payments. Again, it's all cost. Once you get over market, you're fucked, right? I can't charge $45 for a slab of ribs. Even though it cost me $30, I can charge $45, but what I mean is you can't sell them because the market says this is as much as you can charge. They're not going to pay for them. You might sell a few, but good luck. Believe me, when people see $45 for a slab of ribs, they ain't gonna. They'll be eating the chicken. They'll be eating the barbecue chicken, not the ribs, and you'll be out a lot of money because you paid $40 a slab. So if really what you wanted to do as a restaurant is don't buy them, then the guy selling them has to lower his price because he can't sell his inventory. So it all gets to selling your inventory. If nobody buys, you lower your price until you meet your market. So if they're trying to sell the ribs for $40, I don't buy them. I say, sorry, I'm only going to give you whatever he's giving you now, 22, 23. That's all. That's it. Oh, I need 30. Well, sorry, I'm not buying them, or I'm going to buy a lot less of them because I can't sell them at that price. So I'm not going to buy them. And then the guy selling them to the rib place at 30 has to lower his prices. And eventually, the inflation only works if you actually agree to pay more. If you don't agree to pay more, it doesn't work. But what it does is on the other end, the costs go up, drives out the people out of business because they can't afford it, because they can't charge more to the market. So therefore, if their costs go up, then they have to also say, I can't pay. I'm not going to pay you for the steel and the rubber and all this to make a car. I can't afford it. So therefore, I'm not going to buy from you, which makes them lower their prices. So that's really what happens. All right, everybody, I am off. Have a wonderful day. www.teaserking.com. Hope you learned a lot. I try to make it as broad as I can and cover as much as I can. Usually one thing leads to another with me, but please ask your questions. Gives me a basis of what you're interested in so I can answer it. All right, everybody. And where's my mouse? All right, take care.